there should actually be a full-scale investigation of the entire SLA affair. Even the creation of the double of Donald DeFreeze, that book, The Black Abductor, that I'll go into more if we have time, the decapitation and the cutting off of fingerprints of Donald DeFreeze when the body was sent to Ohio, the lies about the autopsy reports and where the bodies were and about their identification, the documents found on the floor of the house when it was burned down, the travel of the SLA members to Europe and the possible links of them to the CIA abroad and meeting there to make their plans for actions that took care here. I think that this is a scandalous affair that's gone on for 4 years, and here is Patty with her life in danger sitting in that jail to testify against the Harrises. Not only will I help them, but I pulled out of my files a registered letter. It was certified September the 4th, 1975, and sent to Randolph Hearst, in which I sent my third copy of The Realist, I guess. They never acknowledged that I was alive up to that point. And this was just 3 weeks prior to Patty's being brought in or so-called arrested in San Francisco area. And I wrote to him, and also on radio programs I had said that Patty Hearst will be brought home within 3 weeks, that the CIA, FBI will have to stop the charade for several reasons. And one of the two reasons, the main reasons, was that Wayne Lewis, an agent who had infiltrated the SLA for the FBI and was an agent of the FBI, surfaced publicly and had press conferences identical to the way Louis Tackwood broke the story of Watergate and wrote a book, The Glass House Tapes. And Wayne Lewis came out the end of August in 1975 and alleged that Patrick Gray's nephew, Donald Gray, was the man who killed Donald DeFreeze and the others at close range behind the house at the time of the shootout. Now, Patrick Gray is a man who's just been indicted by the Justice Department for his FBI COINTEL operations in the East. He was the acting director. He hadn't been confirmed at the time that Watergate came. He was put in May after J. Edgar Hoover died, and I believe the next day or so, George Wallace was shot. Watergate came in June, and I accused him of covering up various murders in California and riots, counterintelligence out here of Ruben Salazar's murder and Jerry Lee Ame's murder and the riots at Isla Vista. Patrick Gray was instrumental in covering those up and covering up the ITT expose in the Justice Department. He was in the Justice Department when these took place. So I knew he couldn't investigate the Watergate. And then Wayne Lewis came out with the allegations that, and this was after I had written my article. I wrote the article in 1974 saying that Nancy Ling Perry and Angela and Donald DeFreeze had been shot at close range, that they were not, Angela Atwood it was, were shot purposely. They weren't left to flee the house. They couldn't flee. They had to be killed. They were agents. And I said that the bullets hit them at close range. And a year after I wrote that article, in 1975, Wayne Lewis identified the man who he said did the shooting from the back of the house while all the photographs were at the front, where the firing took place of that house down in Los Angeles where 6 were murdered. And he said the man who actually did the close-up shooting was Donald Gray, the nephew of Patrick Gray. And right now he's a teacher at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Virginia. Now this is terribly important. If a professor of the FBI, training the FBI from all over the United States, is the man who shot these people from the back of the house without allowing them to have a trial or to speak for what they were doing, this is a very serious charge. And Wayne Lewis said that the FBI had contacted him 2 weeks before Donald DeFreeze died and said that they were going to kill Donald DeFreeze and that he was to take his place as the new leader of the SLA. And when he talked about this replacement, it reminded me that in 1974, in April, I had an article that I wrote with Stephanie Caruana, who was at the house here. We gave it to Rolling Stones, and we said it has to be printed right away. The article I wrote was, is Donald DeFreeze the first black Lee Harvey Oswald, saying that he worked with the police, the FBI, and the CIA, and that they would kill him, set him up as the patsy or the leader, and kill him. And the Rolling Stones said they couldn't promise to get it out within a few months. They didn't see any urgency. So we took it to the Berkeley Barb, and luckily they printed it. And 3 weeks before the shootout in Los Angeles, where all 6 were killed, my article was printed. It's a large 4-page article, and I have some copies here, but just 3 or 4, so I can't send them out. And they're full sheets. They're hard to duplicate. I'll have to get it reprinted and get you the article. Is Donald DeFreeze, the first Black Lee Harvey Oswald, because I had those